You know that feeling, right? When you've trusted someone only to find out later that their smile was just a mask? Or that gut feeling that something's off, even when all the words sound perfectly fine? Well, what if you could actually see past all that? What if you could read people like you read a book? Today, we're going to break down exactly how you can learn to see the truth. So here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about the problem, the masks we all see every day. Then, we'll get into the real secret sauce, decoding a person's baseline. From there, we'll cover how the body speaks, how to find truth hidden in conversations, and finally, how to spot the patterns that show you who someone really is.
All right, let's dive right in with the big challenge. We're talking to people all day long, but most of the time, we're basically flying blind. We just take their words at face value, and we completely miss all the other clues that are staring us right in the face.
Of course you have. We all have. It's that little alarm bell that goes off in your head, that feeling that the story just doesn't quite add up. You hear what they're saying, but their eyes or their posture or just the vibe is telling you a totally different story. And that gap, that little space between what they say and what they show, that's exactly where the truth is hiding.
Just think about this story of a guy named Ryan. He thought he knew his best friend, inside and out. The guy's voice sounded sincere, his face looked honest. But Ryan was only paying attention to the words. He missed all the other signals. And the result? A complete and total betrayal. It's a tough story, but it's a huge reminder that just listening to words is a massive gamble. People can say literally anything, but their body and their actions, well, they rarely lie. So, how do we make sure we don't end up like Ryan? How do we start seeing what's really going on? It all starts with one single foundational idea: a person's baseline. Honestly, this is the key that unlocks everything else. Think of a baseline as someone's unique behavioral fingerprint. It's just how they normally act when they're totally relaxed and not under any pressure. Maybe they talk really fast, or maybe they're super quiet. Maybe they always hold eye contact, or maybe they tend to look away. Your job is to just become an observer. Pay attention to what's normal for the people in your life.
And this right here is the whole secret. You are not looking for one single tell like you see in the movies. You're looking for a shift, a deviation from their normal baseline. So if your friend who's always calm suddenly can't stop fidgeting, or a really confident speaker suddenly starts stammering, that's the clue. That's the moment something's up, and that's when you need to pay way closer attention.
You can turn this into a habit, like starting today. Next time you're talking to someone, just for a second, look at their eyes before you even really process their words. Get a sense for how they act in normal, chill moments. Then just keep asking yourself one simple question. Does their body match what their mouth is saying? Okay, now that we have that baseline idea down, let's build on it by learning to read the body's silent language. See, people can choose their words so carefully, but their bodies are broadcasting the unfiltered truth almost all the time. It's like a running commentary from their subconscious mind. Now this is amazing. Every single human being on the planet shows these 7 basic emotions using the exact same facial muscles. We're talking about microexpressions, these tiny, involuntary flashes of pure emotion that flicker across a face in less than half a second. They are the ultimate tell. It's a lightning-fast peek behind the curtain before that mask can go back up.
And the clues go way beyond just the face. Natural eye contact usually means truth. Open hands suggest honesty, while hands jammed in pockets can mean someone's hiding something. Their posture tells you if they're engaged. But here's a fantastic little tip. Always check the feet. Seriously, feet almost always point where the mind really wants to be. So if they're talking to you, but their feet are aimed right at the door, their mind is already halfway out of the conversation.
Okay, so we've covered the visual side of things. Now let's switch gears and talk about the audio. Because a lot of the time, the real deception isn't hiding in what someone says, but in how they say it. Think about this story of a wise old shopkeeper named Giant. A salesman came in and gave this perfect, polished pitch. But when Giant asked a really simple question, the salesman paused for just a beat too long. That tiny little hesitation, it gave everything away. It's such a simple but powerful idea. Truth is instant. It doesn't need to think. Lies, on the other hand, have to be built, and that construction takes time.
So what you want to do is listen for those shifts from their vocal baseline. An unnatural pause before they answer a simple question like, "So where were you last night?" is a huge red flag. Or repeating a phrase over and over, almost like they're trying to convince themselves. "I'm telling the truth, I'm telling the truth." Or even a sudden shift in their tone of voice, going from calm to high-pitched and defensive. These are all signs that a story is being made up right there on the spot.
So, spotting these clues in the moment is a great skill, but to really truly understand a person, you have to zoom out. You have to learn the difference between a fleeting emotion and someone's deep-seated intention.
This is such a critical point. We are hardwired to believe that strong emotion equals truth. Someone's crying, we automatically think they're being sincere. But here's the thing, strong emotion can also be a powerful tool for manipulation. Intention, though, that's not found in one outburst. It's found in a pattern of actions over weeks, months, years. So remember this, try to ignore what people say they feel and focus on what they consistently do. That is the single best way to predict who they really are.
Manipulators are absolute masters at using emotion as a weapon because it lets them control the story and never take responsibility. And they follow really predictable patterns. They're never at fault, they're always the victim. They use guilt to control you. They'll use emotional blackmail, if you really cared about me, you would, to make you feel obligated. Here's what you have to do. Look for these repeated behaviors. Anyone can make a mistake one time, but a consistent pattern isn't a mistake, it's a strategy.
Okay, so now we have all the pieces, right? We've got the nonverbal clues, the vocal tells, the long-term patterns. It's time to put the whole puzzle together and finally see the complete picture. This is the ultimate goal, to build what we're calling a mind map of a person. This isn't about judging someone based on one weird handshake or one awkward sentence. It's about combining every single clue, the verbal, the nonverbal, the present moment, and their past actions, to see the whole person and really understand their true intentions.
And this is your final framework, your takeaway, the 5 pillars of understanding. Always start by asking what the real meaning is behind the words. Watch for those split-second micro-expressions, the little fingerprints of truth on their face. Read the constant story their body is telling. Listen to the emotional color of their voice. And finally, and most importantly, weigh all of it against their track record, their past behavior. When you combine these 5 pillars, the truth really has nowhere left to hide. Look, this isn't about becoming a suspicious person. It's about becoming an aware person. It's about protecting yourself from being deceived, and more importantly, about building deeper, more real relationships with the right people. You have the tools now, so the only question left is, whose truth are you going to see first?